welcome back, Mail-In Podcast listeners everywhere. I'm your host, Brett Merriman. To my right, for the final time before the deFries family becomes a family of four, Sally deFries. Sally, what's going on?
Going on maternity leave.
Will's very excited about his fraternity leave.
Paternity leave.
It's like a thing we do.
Fraternity leave?
Yeah, fraternity leave. It's just like people go dove hunting and all that stuff.
Yeah. I don't think he's going to be dove hunting.
No?
I hope not.
I am in a couple of weeks. Very excited about it.
Have you ever been dove hunting?
Have not. I don't know if it's dove or quail. Whatever's the season for in season right now. Probably not a good thing that I don't.
I think it's dove.
I think it is dove too.
I think dove hunting started September 1st.
September 1st, November 13th. Yep. That's me. I'm hitting.
Can take the girl out of the small
Texas town.
Can't take the whatever.
Small
Texas
to
town
large
over to her.
Austin suburb out of
now
the girl.
Now it's Austin suburb.
Yeah, flies it dies, Sally.
Oh,
you know
wow.
what they say. I'm a pretty good I've been skeet shooting a bunch, but I've never taken it to the real thing. So I'm excited. Pretty good shot for a Yankee like me.
Okay.
It's when all the buddies are like, "Oh, you Yankee fuck."
I can't hunt really because I am not good at shooting shotguns.
Oh, really?
Because I am right-handed.
Yeah.
But I see pretty much my entire field of vision with my left eye.
Oh, so left eye dominant. I guess that's kind of what I do.
So you can't when I was trying to do it, I was trying to move my left eye into the scope and they were like, stop doing that. So then they were like, just shoot left-handed. And that was way more difficult.
I see.
So I failed at skeet shooting.
I don't know what I do. I think I kind of keep both eyes open.
Well, you do, but your one eye is resting.
It's more like in the,
And I would try to move my other eye over and then the kickback from the gun would absolutely pelt me in the face because I had moved my face.
Yeah, not ideal.
So
doesn't sound like a good recipe for being very accurate.
No. So yeah, the one time I went skeet shooting at someone's ranch, they were like, "You should be done." I was like,
"You're a safety hazard."
I was like,
to all
"Cool,
those involved.
I'll leave. Thank you."
Man, well, I'm excited for that. Are you excited for baby number 2?
I'm excited. We still got a lot to do.
Yeah.
Before, but it's I'm excited to not be pregnant anymore.
That's gonna be tight.
Yeah.
Not that being pregnant is not tight, but it's just I think a margarita sounds nice. I'm sure.
Yeah.
Like a frozen.
Yeah, I'm for sure getting sad about it because I think.
Oh yeah.
People are really nice to you when you're pregnant.
Okay.
And then they are not nice to you. They're not that they're not nice to you when you have a newborn, but people go out of their way to help you when you're pregnant or talk to you or oh my gosh, you're glowing, blah, blah. And then you're when you actually need the most buildup, the most support when you have a newborn, people just don't care about you anymore. Don't even open doors for you.
You're just back to a normie.
You're back to a normie.
Yeah. Just like one of us.
Yeah.
Hey, my vow to you, Sally, I'll treat you like you're still pregnant.
Perfect.
While we're on the Mail-In Podcast.
Thanks.
Just every time you come in, I'll be like, man, you're glowing today.
Thank you. Yeah, I know I'm already getting sad about that, which is kind of psychotic because pregnancy in general is it's fine, but it's not the best time I've ever had.
Yeah, I mean, it's there. I feel like it has kind of ups and downs. You have to pee 11 times an hour.
Yeah.
Right. Things just aren't comfortable. I'm sure. You can't just chill. I don't know.
Yeah.
But there's also all the cool stuff that comes with it. So.
Yeah.
I think is it one of those things where because you've already had Fritz, it's going to be I don't know if easier is the right word. But kind of just you have.
I hope so.
Some stuff that you don't need 1,100 of these baby things. You're we're gonna take the 9 that we used a bunch and run those.
Yeah,
back.
I'm hoping that's the case, but I think transition. Some people feel like transitioning from 0 kids to 1 kid was really difficult. I definitely did. And then some people were like, ooh, 1 to 2 is real hard.
Really?
So we'll see. Who knows?
There's a lot of just wait people out there
So
who have
many
done the
just
1 to
wait.
2. Man, you guys did 1, but just wait.
People love to talk about that. We talked about that last week.
We
People
sure
love the
did.
just wait. They love talking about it.
Well, in the meantime, we're very excited for Sally and Will. But in the meantime, we'll have a couple different folks on the show while Sally's out.
Hopefully I'll be able to pop in after a few weeks.
You
Depending on how
you
things are
tell
going.
me when you're ready to come back,
Yeah.
and we'll put you back in the lineup.
But it sounds like producer Randy might
I
pop
think
in.
we'll have a producer Randy episode. There's talk of remember Kayla,
Yeah.
former co-host of this podcast. She moved back to Austin. She's gonna
know.
hop on. Got there's rumors of a Lily Betcher sighting.
Lily can't wait.
You got Ruff, Chevrolet, the other deFries in the building. So there's just going to be a couple characters hopping on in your stead.
Okay.
None of them
Hopefully
will
they
take
don't
your job.
fuck it up.
They won't fuck
You
it.
know.
You can help us out in the meantime by telling a friend about the show. Hit the hotline number 888-362-MAIL 888-362-6245. I do check those voicemails, by the way. They're just annoying to upload to the Roadcaster. So it's easier to do when we have a bunch of them. Please write at the link in the Twitter bio at Mail-In Podcast or in the description of this episode. Watch us on YouTube, youtube.com/mail-in podcast to see my lovely face and whoever is guest hosting for the next few weeks. But you got Sally today, so here you go. Sally, are you ready to go? We'll just get right into it.
Yeah.
Sweet. I'll lead off. Does that work?
Yeah.
Cool. Hey, Mail-In crew. I've been hanging out with a girl for the past 2 months. She said she does not want to be in a relationship right now, but she wants to be friends with benefits. I'm in my late 20s, and so is she. I've been in the friends with benefits zone many times. I don't know why, but it's frustrating because I want more, but sex. I think in
More than
context, I want
sex.
more than sex.
Yeah.
I don't think I'm sleazy. I have a good job and I'm well put together. I don't know why girls only seem to want me for sex. My initial reaction here, Sally, is common denominator in each of these situations has been this guy. Now, I'm not saying that as like a knock on this guy, but maybe it's worth asking someone like the girl you're dating or the girls you have dated or the people in your past that have sort of just wanted friends with benefits, be like, is there something with me? Sex seems great. Physical relationship seems awesome, but for something to happen over and over again, I don't think it's just on the girls here.
Yeah. I wonder how many times is many times. Because for me, I'm like, if this happened a couple times, they've all been like casual things that have never turned into dating. My advice to this guy in general is like, I would say no immediately. Just be like, that's not really what I want from this relationship. I
Sure.
would rather be in a relationship with you. I'm not looking for just a hookup. Sorry. Break things off. Try not to take it too much to your ego and move on. I think some people really want the especially when they're younger, the like benefits of friends with benefits, but the benefits of a relationship without actually having to do the work of a relationship. But going back to like why it's happening. So that's like the two parts of this. Like, first of all, rectify whatever this relationship is, finish it, move on, tell her like, hey, that's not my jam. Sorry.
Yeah.
And if you don't want to be in a relationship, I don't really want to just be having sex. But then kind of look back at like how you're starting relationships. Are you, putting off like I just want casual vibes? And that's always tricky because you don't want to like go into it being like, I want to date you right now. Like, and be like too
Yeah.
eager, you know?
Love bombing, right? Is
Yeah,
that the
you don't
word?
want to be like freaking them out. They're like, whoa, like
Yeah.
I'm not ready to move in together date one. But I don't know if it requires, maybe if you have like a friend or like a friend's girlfriend, you know?
Okay.
Like a
Yeah. Like a
trusted female
close
friend that you could be like,
female
"Hey, this is
confidant.
going on. Am I like putting off some vibe?"
Okay.
Uh, but I don't also think that unless it's literally happened in every single relationship, it's necessary to like do a deep dive into why it's happening.
Okay.
You know?
Yeah, I think that's
I
fair.
think part of it is age related. I think part of me is like, maybe it is happening every time, but sometimes it feels like when it's happened to you like twice, it feels like it's happened to you every time,
Mhm.
especially if the last time before this girl also ended this way, then it feels like every time you've had a relationship, or
Yeah.
maybe you've only had a couple relationships and they've
Mhm.
ended this way, but like people's dating histories, like up until I dated or met and dated Will, like every guy that I had really had a relationship with was never really a relationship. It was like a hookup that was like way more into them than they were into me, you know, that was
Okay.
like a longer, you know, like someone that you had a situationship with.
Yeah.
And
Okay.
so I thought the same thing. I'm like, everything I do is going to be one of these situationships where like I'm going to be more in love with them than they are with me or whatever, have more
Mhm.
feelings. But then sometimes you're just going after the wrong people. You
Totally.
know,
Yeah.
like sometimes you're just picking people who aren't right for you, who don't want to be in relationships. And that could be the thing. That could be what he's doing. He's probably going after girls who don't want to be in a relationship. So they tack on the whole, like, well, let's just be friends with benefits label. But
Mhm.
it's not all like, is it a problem with him? Sometimes it's just, it's not the right timing. It's not the right person.
Yeah.
The people you're going after are not looking to get into anything serious, but
Mhm.
then they're playing it off of like, well, let's just be friends with benefits. So you think they only want me for sex,
Mhm.
you know?
Right. I wanted to ask, kind of outside this question, what do you think is the biggest or a number of reasons, but if you had to rank like the most common reasons for seeking a friends with benefits situation from like a guy's perspective or a girl's perspective? From a guy's perspective, I would say number 1 would be you wanna keep your options open. Like, if
Yeah.
something, quote, unquote, "better" comes along or somebody that's more you're more attracted to or you have more in common with, there's sort of a grass is greener thing.
Yeah.
Then you go to the traditional reasons of like, well, I just the time like, my job is keeping me at work 12 hours a day.
Right.
I don't have time to give to this, or I'm not ready for marriage, so why start something that I don't see turn like I don't want to turn into something? What do you think the reasons are sort of ranked in your opinion?
I think you hit the nail on the head. Probably number one is I don't want to commit to anybody.
But do you think it's because of people always want to look for better? Like, I think that's kind of an unspoken thing about friends with benefits.
Yeah. I mean, or, or if in my case, and probably other people's cases, you were kind of forced into it and it was not, in this guy's, was not really your first choice,
Got it.
you
So you
know?
like you want a
I think
relationship,
there's one
they
party who
don't.
like we should again, this is a caveat,
Mhm.
but I think that a lot of times and people this is like going with my whole like guys and girls can never be friends. But like, are we sure that everyone is always a willing participant in the friends with benefits? I'm not talking about
No,
consensual stuff. I'm just saying like
right. There's no doubt that there's
sometimes like two
always
people are just at a bar and be like, hey, let's be friends with benefits instead of just like dealing with this like flirty datey shit. Let's just
yeah.
I feel like that happens more in the movies and a lot more times it's like one person's like, "Hey, we should be friends with benefits," or it never really even gets discussed. It just turns into that. And the other person's like, "I would like a relationship with you, but I'm going to take what I can get because I like you a lot and my whole self-worth is tied up into people giving me attention and going on, you know, and hooking up with people and stuff like that."
Sally, I think that's more often than not.
Right.
I think that's well above 50%, if not like 80% of a situationship is somebody is ready to date or ready to be
Right.
in a relationship, and the other person sort of is defining it as a friends with benefits because they're not sure this is the person. They have like some sort of sense of, well, if I start dating you, that means that we're getting married, like boom, everything's final.
Well, and I think too,
This is
the
good. I like this. I like
instigating
this.
person,
Okay.
it's not that they're like out looking for friends with benefits. It's that they deemed, no offense to this guy and slash me and many other people who are in this position, they deemed you not good enough to date.
Is that what it
That's
comes
it.
down to? Yeah.
And I think then it softens the blow, being like, well, we could still hook up though, because like I have an itch to scratch and you're here.
Yeah, and you're like you're
And I don't
checking
find you, I
enough
only
of
find you mildly annoying. So let's hook up. I
yeah.
think that is a lot of relationships. And then we wonder, like, oh, what am I doing wrong? It's not you. It's them. It's the person being like, I you know what? You're not what I'm looking for. And I think we
Yeah.
spend so many relationship questions, which I think we have a lot of today, can be answered by like, yeah, maybe you have some red flags. Maybe you're doing something weird. But most of the time, it's just that the other person is not 100% into you. And we make it about
Is this
ourselves.
is this like hard to hear? I think I'm like this feels like an eye-opening thing to me.
I think it's hard for people to hear
Yeah.
that because it's like we're so self-centered as humans in general that we want to know, what did I do wrong? How
Yeah,
do I get
what is
closure?
wrong? Like there's
What was
sometimes there's
my
just
role in this?
right.
And
Yeah.
sometimes it's just that the person that you were trying to date or that ghosted you or that you know
Just not that into you.
is just not into you. Is not into you enough to date you or take you home
Yeah.
or stop, flirting with girls on the weekend or whatever it is. But we take that to heart so much because it's such an ego blow. It is.
Totally. Yeah.
And so,
I think it's happened to everybody too at some point or another. Like
right.
very few people are
I
like
mean, to
not
like
perfect
not
shining dating
sound
record.
like he's just not that into you, the movie slash book. But when there are plenty of situations where people try to date and there's extenuating circumstances, things don't work, things like that. But most often than not, when it doesn't work out, it's because the person's like,
Totally. Totally.
I'm talking
And
about the
then
beginning of a relationship.
right.
But like they're just like, I'm not.
Yeah.
They got the ick somehow, and that's not always up to you. It's people get the ick for the dumbest reasons.
People get the ick. People have the greener pastures thing. People have the just something else
Yeah,
comes along or something else happens or like, yeah.
and they're
Yeah.
all going off their own experiences, but we
And then,
constantly ask ourselves, like, what did I do wrong?
and it's
How do
also
I get over
something
this?
like when you're starting to date and it's starting to like, you can tell it's fizzling a little bit or something like that. And then you feel this need to like, oh shit, well, I feel the ship sinking and you tell yourself it's not, but you're
Yeah.
like, I'm gonna try to do what I can to make it not, like there's some sort of you want to remedy the situation. It
Yep.
almost makes it worse. Then you're more into this person because you're pedestalizing them.
Yeah. You're acting like a crazy
Yeah.
person.
Randy, what do you think?
I agree with everything. Sure.
I figured you would have a take.
I
On
was-
like the friends with benefit or just like dating and beginnings to relationships and I don't know.
Oh, I think it's very much some like friends with benefits is either that like it's just convenient.
Yeah, and it's do you agree with the
I think
there's
sometimes
just some people are just aren't like you're not into the person.
yeah, I think it's either one sided or sometimes it's both sided, and it's like, hey, we're both not really that into each other, but we're both find each other attractive and the sex is good. So
Yeah.
let's just
It's
keep this going to
convenience.
scratch, yeah, to like get our sexual releases each. And but if something comes along or if that like feeling changes, we'll be honest with each other. So I think usually it's either one sided or it's both sided that they're not into each other
Yeah.
emotionally.
Yeah.
Interesting. I feel like we could do like a whole episode on that. Anyway, we can't do a whole episode on prize picks, even though we should, Sally. PrizePicks is the largest independently owned daily fantasy sports platform in North America. They're the easiest and most exciting way to play daily fantasy sports. It's just you against the numbers. That's it. Instead of battling thousands of other players, including pros and sharks, you pick more than or less than on 2 to 6 player stat projections and watch the winnings roll in. That's it. PrizePicks is fun. It's a brand kind of a new way to play the fantasy sports field. The numerous options out there to wager on things. PrizePicks is fun. Testing my skills on PrizePicks this football season is the most exciting way to play daily fantasy. If you have the skills, so you can turn $10 into $250 with just a few taps. Really simple, really easy. Make your picks, submit your entry in less than 60 seconds, plus quick withdrawals. An enormous selection of players and stat types are what make PrizePicks the #1 daily fantasy sports app. Here's what you do. Saquon Barkley, more than 60 yards. That's it. Easy. Patrick Mahomes, more than 2 passing touchdowns. That's it. That's all you have to select. And bam.
Easy.
Easy. PrizePicks offers weekly promotions that can lead to big payouts like Taco Tuesday. Each Tuesday, Randy, PrizePicks discounts select player projections up to 25% to provide even more value. Bada bang, bada boom. You're playing PrizePicks this weekend, Randy? He's in. Go to prizepicks.com/mail and use code MAIL for a first deposit match up to $100. That's prizepicks.com/mail and use code MAIL for a first deposit match up to $100. PrizePicks, daily fantasy sports made easy. Next one, Sal.
I just ended a 4-year relationship. My job is super hectic for the next few months, and I feel stressed about finding the time to get back out there and rebuild friendships that took a backseat during my relationship. All of my friends are in serious relationships at this point. Any advice on how to go about this? For context, I'm 27, a woman, and living in a major city.
Ooh, the old getting back out there, not necessarily from a dating standpoint, but
Because you
from
had boyfriend sickness.
yeah, you had boyfriend syndrome.
Yeah. So 27 is like that perfect age of everyone in your life is like in some new stage of their life. So they're either in like a serious relationship or maybe they're getting engaged or like you have that like one friend who's having kids and you're like, you're too young for this.
Yep.
Unless you like live in Alabama or something. But you know, w- I have been through this before because having been a 27-year-old girl and having had boyfriend sickness myself with Will, it's hard to try to repair some friendships that maybe took a backseat when you were like investing yourself in the beginning of a relationship. Now you're broken up, so you're single and all of your friends are in relationships. And this was the stage for me that you tend to gravitate towards your single friends because they like understand the most what's going on.
Or have the easiest way to hang out.
Right, exactly. They're not attached to somebody. They're willing to go out with you. Most of your friends who are in long-term relationships are going to probably be at home on a Thursday with their partner or like have stuff to do with like wedding shit or whatever, you know? So I think becoming that third wheel again is always hard. For me, I was at the age before I met Will where I was that friend. I was like I was the perpetually single friend. So then like all of my friends were the one who were like calling me to be like, let's go out. Cause you're the only single one. They're like, they just assume that you'll say yes to everything. But then
terminally single.
Then you flip that and then you become the person in the relationship and they're all like, well, you weren't here because you had boyfriend sickness. I'm like, well, you had that, but you were 24. Okay. And both of you still like to go out because you were 24. So all of that being said, there are going to be people that are your friends that are going to be bitchy about this. and be like, we didn't see you for years and da da da. And then you're going to have the friends who are cool about it and are like understand and don't give a shit.
Yeah.
For me personally, I think that this is a real coming of age time when you realize like not all of my friendships are built to last, and this is like one of those times.
Mm-hmm.
We've talked about this a lot on this podcast of like when you go through life transitions, which of your friends are going to like put the blame on you for not keeping up with them, and which of your friends are just going to be like, "Oh my god, it's been a year, but like let's catch up and things are exactly how they were before."
Sure.
Those are the people that you should invest your time in. If any friend is like giving you shit for not being around, let them say their piece and apologize, but like and then move on. But if they keep bringing it up, to me, that's like drama you don't need.
Yeah, I think if they can get one pretty good shot in at you, and then like, hey, let's hug it out, or
Yeah.
like, hey, one, you almost in a joking way, like, wow, look who decided to show up, and then boom, that's how a guy, I feel like guys would do it,
Yeah.
like, oh well, look who the shackles came off,
Yeah.
yada yada, ha ha ha, har har har, and then it's like nothing happened.
Right.
So I think you can kind of sum it up by it's the perfect opportunity to sort of take inventory of the friends that should be continuously in your life and the friends that, you're 27, maybe they were great college friends or post-college friends, but you're kind of in a new stage of life.
Yeah. I think, I don't think you need to, I don't think she needs to like go super out of her way to like repair friendships, blah, 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 unless like,
Like an emotional crying session of like, I'm so sorry. I
yeah.
disregarded your time.
If
But,
you're
it's not that.
busy and you're dealing with a breakup and things like that, like just live your life and like text your close friends, like try to do it like once weekly, be like, hey, anybody like want to go grab lunch on Saturday, or like I have a reservation on Friday for this many people. Does anybody
Mhm.
want to join me? And like send that out early in the week so people like have it on their radar, or like make one-on-one plans with people, but you don't need to like be broken up with and then day one be like, okay, I'm gonna go repair everything that
Sure. And maybe be comfortable too with becoming friends with their boyfriends. And just
Right.
like, hey, it doesn't have to be one-on-one with Sarah and Megan.
Right.
Like Tim can come and
Yeah.
or and then maybe we bring single Jared or we bring
Right.
single Miranda too. And it's like it doesn't need to just be these one-on-one like venting sessions. Although I know that those are productive and needed, but maybe she asked for kind of advice here. Maybe you have something standing that's sort of an expected group activity where you can involve more people in it to make the likelihood of more people saying yes
Yeah.
higher. I think it's kind of one of those things like don't expect it to be perfect and know that other people are going through what you used to go through
Right.
as far as time goes.
And don't be afraid to make new friends. Like
Sure. Yeah.
you just got out of a 4-year relationship.
In major city and 27, like that's still prime friend making
You have a
age.
lot going on. You've got work. Maybe focus on work and just see what you don't have to
Yeah.
put so much pressure on like I have to be friends with everyone again and I need to like go get back on the dating apps and I need to do all this. I think people when they go through a big life change like this think like, okay, here's the to-do list of things I've got to
Yeah.
do.
Everybody wants to listicle things.
Yeah, but you know what you could do? Just live your life and like go to work.
And you don't need to feel like I need to have something to do Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday. Like it's okay to take a day and just kind of take inventory of yourself and sit on your couch
Yeah.
and go for a walk and then go to bed at 9:17 and wake up. You're not wasting a day doing that,
Right.
especially going through what you're going through.
And the friendships that are meant to last will last as long as you put in like a modicum of effort,
Bingo.
like send a text, but you don't, it's not all on you to like make reparations. You just need to go about your life as you would and take time for you, but also reach out to your friends, the friends who matter and will stick around, will stick around.
Bingo. Slowly but surely and not all at once.
Yeah.
Help. I've been in a long distance relationship for 4 months and we FaceTime every day for about an hour and I don't know what to talk about anymore, but I really do enjoy talking to her. Also, how do I bring up sexting and that kind of stuff? End of question.
Okay. Uh,
I like this one. It's just like, help.
I think for long distance relationships, at least for me, it was like you spend all day texting that person about like what's going on in your day.
Yeah.
So then when you talk at night, you've already like
You've
unloaded
exhausted,
everything
the
that
possibilities.
you could have talked about.
I agree.
And at 4 months, you kind of are hitting the point of like, we already know a lot about each other. We've gotten to know everything. Like, heard all about his family. I've heard all about her, college years, things like that. That like all the stories that you really need to swap
Mhm.
in the beginning are so you're hitting that hump anyway. And normal relationships hit that, you know, uh, without being long distance or not.
Yeah, totally.
So you're just running out of things to say to each other
You're
because you've already been talking all day.
the honeymoon phase is coming to an end.
Right.
It happens to every relationship.
It's okay to not talk to somebody for an hour.
Yeah.
I think
It's almost like I feel like she has like a Snapchat streak like element to this. Like, oh, if I don't talk to Brad for an hour today, we're gonna break our streak. And does that mean our relationship's in trouble? And oh my God, do we not love each other anymore? Like,
oh,
that's okay.
when Will and I were dating and I
Oh
was living
no.
in Houston, we had a Snapchat streak and it broke and I was like absolutely so
You're
bummed.
like,
Then I was
that's
like,
it.
I'm not even getting on Snapchat besides to keep this streak up that
Yeah.
literally no one knows about but myself. So why am I doing this? But I think long distance relationships, so much of like what you do is communicate in another term of it's besides face to face.
Mm-hmm.
But if you think about people who are in relationships, they're 4 months in and maybe like they come over to spend the night and it's like, cool, how was your day? Great, awesome. Let's watch Peaky Blinders. And then everyone's silent and you're just on your phone
Yeah,
and
you
then
kind of
you
don't have
hook
that
up
silent time. Yeah.
and it doesn't matter. Like
Yeah.
you don't have an hour of talking to each other when you're at home with each other. I
Mhm.
mean, and I'm not saying everyone's at home with each other 4 months in, but like if you are dating somebody in your city, you have date time and then you have like, oh, we went out and we like hung out with
Yeah,
friends.
met up with whoever.
That's
Yeah.
not one-on-one talking time the
Mhm.
whole time. So people who are in relationships in the same city are probably talking less than you're talking to your long distance person.
Honestly, yeah.
So it's okay to just be like, "Hey, we've covered all the stuff. You wanna watch a
Yeah,
show and then we'll text
yeah,
about it?"
yeah. It's also okay to go like 19 minutes.
Yeah.
Hit the bases. Like, how's your day? How's this? How's that? We've been texting all day. We kind of know, unless something's going on,
Right.
and just all right. Like, hey,
Because
I
that's what
love you.
people in
Boom, boom.
relationships are doing.
Yeah,
No one's
absolutely.
like at 4 or 6 months in being like, "Okay, well, we've covered like your relationship with your dad. So let's move on to like my childhood trauma surrounding horses
Mm.
and then like let's do this." Like no one is doing cataloging that. So
Yeah, we're beyond that. We've
you're literally
gotten to
just
the
checking in being like, "How was your day?" And
yeah,
then they're like, "Oh my god, Megan said this to me." And then it's like
yeah.
so you can talk about that on FaceTime too, but you don't need to worry that like you have stopped having things to talk about.
Yeah, or you kind of save like if you're texting every 9 minutes all day,
Yeah.
maybe decrease that down a little
And then
bit
you'll
and then
have more to
save
catch
up
up on.
some ammo for the hour-long FaceTime call.
Yeah.
Some you like to text in a long distance relationship, you don't need to be in constant contact for it
Yeah.
to be like, oh, proof that we are in a great relationship. It's just like
Yeah.
you kind of figure out your day and your cadence, and then you FaceTime, and either it's for 2 minutes or not. You skip a day or 3. Like it doesn't. I don't think it keeping a scoreboard of that
Right.
is. I don't know if it's not healthy, but it's just not. It doesn't. It's not productive.
It's
It's
not
not. It's
productive.
not like long term solution.
What about the sexting stuff?
I think that's like I was in the most unsexy way possible would be like, what are your thoughts on that? Kind of like approach it. There's like you like if kind of thing, which is
Yeah.
just like feel it, try it.
Think
If it
of the
doesn't
there's 2
reciprocate,
things for me. It's
yeah,
either do what you said, like, just ask, like, "Hey,
yeah,
are you into this?"
yeah.
Or just get drunk and then do it while you're drunk and then just be like, it'll if she's into it, it'll happen.
If
If
she's into,
not, you're
yeah,
like,
yeah, okay.
"Oh, man, sorry. I was hammered."
Yeah, just have right. Yeah,
I
I
mean,
think it's very
rip the Band-Aid off and just
ask
do it.
and be like, here are my thoughts on it. What are your thoughts on it? And then like you're probably not going to get into it because that's about as unsexy as it gets. But just yeah, I think there's 2 ways to do it.
I personally think the method of just ripping the Band-Aid off, getting a little sexting
Mhm.
going on like a Friday night when you're not seeing them, but you're gonna
Sure.
maybe see them next week. So like put it out there. And then once you do it, depending on what the reaction was, if she's like not taking the
Mhm.
bait, then you can be like, hey, I didn't mean to make you uncomfortable. I just like thought that might be kind of fun.
Spice it
Because
up a
if you
little
like
bit.
have a conversation, you're like, okay, so should we start like having phone sex? Then you're like, it's not happening organically. Like
No, no. Yeah.
that's nothing is as uncomfortable as being like, all right, we got a phone sex date at 8 p.m.
Yeah.
Like, see you then.
See you later. How's your day?
Like
Oh, 8 o'clock. Like
like
what are you wearing?
sexting, phone sex, FaceTime sex, whatever it
Mhm.
is. Any sex, actually. Like scheduled sex is not hot. So you
Yeah.
don't you don't want to be like, we're gonna talk about this, then we're gonna schedule it out.
Mhm.
I think you just dip your toe in a little bit. Don't go full
Okay.
throttle.
Yeah, dip a toe.
Don't like freak her out and go like real intense dirty talk with a dick pic. Just
Don't
like send a little flirty, like thinking about ya.
yeah.
Can't wait till next weekend.
Yeah, there you go.
Blah blah blah. You know what y'all are into. Throw that in there, but don't like
Don't naked man like How I Met
yeah.
Your Mother via phone.
Yeah.
Just like FaceTime. And it's
Yeah.
like, hey,
Yeah, don't do that.
don't do that.
Yeah.
Good luck.
Good luck.
Let's face it, Sally, after a night with drinks, I don't bounce back the next day like I used to. I have
No.
to make a choice.
Yeah.
You can either have a great night or a great next day. That is until I found Z-Biotics. You ever skip a workout, Randy, because of drinks the night before?
Too many times to count.
Too many times to count. Well, I have two. If you're committed to your healthy routine this year, though, you need Z-Biotics. Z-Biotics is a pre-alcohol probiotic that is the world's first genetically engineered probiotic. It was invented by PhD scientists to tackle rough mornings after drinking. Here's how it works. When you drink, alcohol gets converted into a toxic byproduct in the gut. It is this byproduct, not dehydration, that's to blame for your rough next day. Z-Biotics produces an enzyme to break this byproduct down. It's designed to work like your liver, but in your gut where you need it the most. Just remember to drink Z-Biotics before drinking alcohol. Drink responsibly and get a good night's sleep to feel your best tomorrow. I tried Z-Biotics for the first time at Barbecue Austin for the rodeo. I have since tried Z-Biotics for a concert. I've done Z-Biotics for a bull riding event where I knew some drinks were going to be consumed responsibly. Randy, a birthday party, and I'm all in. As instructed, drank a bottle of Z-Biotics before any alcohol. I was amazed at how good I felt the next day. Sally, I believe Will is now kind of your husband is now kind of a Z-Biotics believer. Is that accurate?
That is true. I was telling you this before the podcast, but he took some Z-Biotics on Saturday. We had people over for the game, pre margaritas.
Okay.
Okay. He had several margaritas, and then it felt better the next day than he normally would.
Sure.
But then the biggest thing was that the next day on Sunday, we had a day night and he drank a lot of wine,
Okay.
but not like, probably not more wine than he drank margaritas before.
Sure.
And he woke up on Monday and was like, I feel way worse today
Mm.
than I did on Sunday. Like
Because he
Sunday, I
did
was like
not- he
ready
did
to
not
be
take his-
productive.
He did not take his Z-Biotics.
Correct. Yeah.
That'll do it. Go to
Yeah.
zbiotics.com/mail to get 15% off your first order when you use code MAIL at checkout. You can also sign up for a subscription using our code so you can stay prepared no matter the time or occasion. Z-Biotics is backed with 100% money-back guarantee. So if you're unsatisfied for any reason, they'll refund your money. No questions asked. Remember to head to zbiotics.com/mail and use the code MAIL at checkout for 15% off. Thank you, Z-Biotics, for sponsoring this episode. Sally, go ahead.
How do I tell my friend and roommate that she's absolutely the crazy one / the problem in her relationship. For context, things like texting me at 1 a.m. basically saying she went through my Instagram account and saw he's been liking pics since 2021. Her boyfriend and I went to the same college and have a lot of the same fraternity, sorority people that were mutual friends. She finds it weird that he didn't say he knew me. I told her we didn't know each other and we were just mutual friends, and I didn't recognize him when she brought him around either. She wouldn't let it go and maybe was insinuating that we slept together. I don't know. She also went through all 1,400 of the people he follows on Instagram and texted him about 13 specific accounts at 2:30. He's a professional adult that's put off by her behavior, and I can't really tell her she's in the right. Also, didn't really care until she went through my account at 1 a.m. to see if her boyfriend liked my pics. Weirdo behavior.
What did you do if your friends like coming to you like, isn't it what the fuck? Isn't this so weird? And you're like, yeah, but not the way you think so.
Yeah. Okay. First of all, it's like not great that this girl's her roommate too, because like
This feels like a little bit of a situation.
this is gonna become like a problem
Yeah.
probably. I do think that it's important to set the boundary of like, hey, I don't really know what to make of your relationship with this guy, but like
Mhm.
we have no history. We have mutual friends. Like I knew who he was ish in college, but like we just kind of ran in the same circle, but like not in the same large circle. It really upsets me that you went through my Instagram because of how like insecure you are about
Yeah,
this.
this is
But
all an insecurity thing.
yeah,
100%.
I think make it about you and like what upset you and how she invaded your privacy and be like, I don't know him. We have no history.
Yeah,
Don't
totally.
know who has liked my pics or not. I think it's just a college connection. But like that makes me uncomfortable and I don't really.
Yeah, address that first because it's your roommate. And then second, just be like, do you realize what you're doing here? Like,
Yeah.
what come on.
I don't for me it's like if she's like your best friend, I think you can say like you're acting crazy because
Okay.
she's your best friend.
Yeah.
It doesn't sound like she's her
Like
best
a
friend.
roommate level friend.
It's
Yeah.
like a roommate level friend that I would personally say, this made me uncomfortable. I'm sorry you feel that way, blah, blah. And then I wouldn't get involved anymore. Like he's going to figure out that she's crazy.
Mhm.
But like you're only, for me, I'm like, it's not worth trying to be like, hey, you're a psychopath. Like
Yeah.
that's only going to make your living situation really awkward. Tell her the things that affect you and then
And then leave the other stuff out of it, you think? Just like that's
yeah,
not your business.
she
Leave
said
it.
he's a professional adult that's put off by her behavior, then he'll do something about it.
Gotcha. Yeah, it's not your responsibility in this case to handle that part, but you can handle the part about you.
Yeah.
Is that fair?
Yeah. I would personally like if this was just a friend, I'd be like, whoa, bye. But
Yeah.
because you live together, you have to kind of tread lightly and then just slowly extricate yourself from this person's life.
I imagine like she's going through the 1,400 people he follows, and he follows like I don't know, some million follower Instagram model, and she's like, "Why do you follow so
Like Alex Earl or
Yeah,
something.
yeah. Like, what are you looking at?" It's like she's attractive. I don't know.
I
What
don't
like,
even like that's so much effort to go through somebody's
yes, it's
like
crazy.
I couldn't even tell you how many people I follow or that follow me, let alone like other people that I'm friends with.
Yeah.
I'm so rarely like when I'm on Instagram, I'm like looking at people's stories, maybe the grid a little bit, but like I'm never on people's profiles,
Mhm.
you know?
Yeah, it's just
That's so much work.
like it's Instagram. It's just Instagram. It's not like it's not the real world.
It's
It's
yeah,
just
exactly.
yeah. Anyway.
Yeah.
Hey, Sally and Brett. I've been playing post-grad rec leagues for years now. We're in the middle of our sand volleyball league, and one of my longest high school friends and his on and off again girlfriend just broke up. Of course, we're all on the same team. I've known everyone else for years, but mostly on a rec sports / acquaintance level with drunk nights out mixed in here and there. I hate doing the picking sides thing, but if I had to, The other 4 teammates are closer on the girlfriend's side. So, long story short, when my friend inevitably bails on the rest of the season, what's the best protocol being the guy playing with the ex-girlfriend and her friends? P.S. I love sand volleyball, so not going to the rest of the season either is off the table. Who gets the sand volleyball team in the breakup, Sally? Definitely you do. You're not part of the breakup.
Yeah.
Yeah, this is fine.
If you're
If your friend is like, dude, you're still going to Sarah's volleyball games? Be like, yeah, I'm on the team, bro.
yeah, I don't
I
see a
like
problem with
playing.
this. Unless he like puts out a like you can't go because I'm not going, and then
Even
you're
then, I'd
just
be like,
like that's
really?
dumb.
Yeah.
Like they're gonna have to forfeit every game
Yeah.
because
Like
they're missing players.
I'm part of a team. It's not like he's doesn't know these people. He's been doing it for
Right.
years. It'd be one thing if like you came in because like for that season because of the
Right.
it's like
And you just happen to be like, it's all
yeah.
her friends, but you're just like the one off
You're the
fill
one
in,
off. Yeah.
But you've been with these people for years, you know them. Like,
Yeah.
just hopefully he bails and he doesn't say anything to you. And I don't think you owe him anything.
Yeah.
I wouldn't even talk about it. I would,
Just
like,
yeah,
I wouldn't
right.
bring it up.
Just totally silo yourself from like, hey, this is not me in the relationship. I'm not picking sides. I'm not like asking you about your feelings or his. I'm just, hey, I'm
Yeah.
here to play sand volleyball, a competitor and a teammate, and like, let's
Yeah.
play volleyball. And you don't have to get into like
like,
the other
if you
stuff.
can interact with the girlfriend less.
Yeah, and just kind of be like arm's length.
So you don't have to like answer questions about her life and shit.
Yeah, exactly. Easy, but
That was-
keep playing sand volleyball with the team. Be a
Yeah,
competitor.
like
be an athlete.
if somebody has a problem with this, like that you've been doing for years.
Right, that you have been a part of for years. Years.
Yeah.
Yeah. You're
He'll-
good. You're
it'll
good.
be
Keep
fine.
playing. Hey, Brett and Sally. You all, maybe Sally and Dylan actually, helped me out a few years back when I asked about places to propose to my then girlfriend in Austin. Here we are 2 years later, married and looking at making a move. My wife has found an awesome job in her field that is going to almost double her salary. The problem is the job is 4 hours away from our current home. I've been afforded the opportunity to switch into a business development type role with my current company and expand our regional reach. We historically haven't had a BD person, and this is a new role. So, Brett, do you have any tips on how to stay organized and also be successful in this new role? Sally, by the way, I apologize. That was supposed to be your question to read.
Oh, it's okay.
Okay. Business development, Sally. I guess this is kind of a me specific one,
That's
but I
a you
wanted to.
specific question.
Yeah, it's kind of like how do you stay organized and be successful in a business development role? Obviously, it depends on the what you need to do. I'm assuming this is sort of a biz development, aka sales, expanding your potential client base or customer base or consumer base through your efforts. And I think the biggest thing for success when it comes to business development is generating leads is kind of like the wrong way to put it, but you can never not be busy on that front because whatever business you're in, whether it's getting new business or generating revenue from recurring business, you always have something to do. You can always either be checking in with clients about new opportunities or current offerings, or hey, this is coming down the pipeline. But you can also always be sourcing and prospecting and stuff. So I think the biggest thing for me that I've found success with is in the prospecting and just telling your story effectively, whether it's a podcast company or Washed Media and like the Sunday Scaries Instagram page as
Yeah.
that is blown up, getting that in front of your current clients and figuring out a way to get it your story basically in front of other clients. Like don't just sell a product, sell the why, sell the how, sell the story to get people more attached to what you're doing. And I know some people are like, well, I sell like enterprise HR software. I don't really have a why. I just do it for a paycheck.
Yeah.
But like then find something. Find a why to that. Like I'm doing this for this. So I think the biggest thing to be organized is to fall in love with Microsoft Excel and have a gazillion spreadsheets for everything, whether it's projections, your revenue, your sales, your calls, your cold emails, your prospects, like people you can double back on. Like I call it my Bible. It's like our ad schedule, clients, the revenue, the money side of it, and like all of their contact information.
Yeah.
And like constantly just reaching out to people and being like, hey, we have this opportunity for Q4. Hey, we have this opportunity for Q1 or
Right.
this presenting sponsorship. And I think the thing that kind of sets you apart is anybody can do numbers and say, this is our solution, here's what it does, or this is the reason you should do business with us. But that's a science. Like, try to inject some art into it. It's almost better that you've never been um, in a type of business development role. You can sort of rely on things you've learned from other roles and other
Right.
parts of the company to come in and create this position, which get creative with it. From a marketing standpoint, build materials that your company's currently not using, like go off the beaten path. Obviously, get everything approved and whatnot, but it's easier for me to say because we're 5 guys here, and you can kind of do stuff quickly,
Right.
and it doesn't need to be run up a flagpole.
You don't have to
Or
do like a whole
there's
chain
not a
of
lot
command.
of right. There's not a lot of red tape here.
Yeah.
But I think just being successful in really any sales role is being consistent, being, I'm not saying to cold call people 400 times a day because we're just beyond that as a society, I think.
Yeah.
But finding an effective way to pitch yourself and your company and your product and your service via email is very important.
Yeah.
Finding a way to stick out in an inbox is very important. Finding a way to not be like everybody else is very important. I would stay away. Like, I never use a template. I never use
Yeah.
the email softwares that blast to a million people.
You want it to seem genuine.
Because it is.
Yeah.
I literally tailor every email, and I do hundreds of emails a month or dozens a week of genuinely writing to one person or 3 people that are on the same company that the email is tailored to them.
Yeah.
So the more individual you can make it, I think the better there is. Obviously, there's software out there that like ChatGPT writes your email, and then you can plug your like client list into Magellan or whatever these list servers are that send it out to 4 million people.
Yeah.
And it's like, okay, your bounce rates are going to be super high and you're looking for 1 or 2 hits. Like, I just want a higher hit rate on less email work. Does
Yeah.
that make sense? So I think you just be unique. Everybody's doing the same thing in business development and sales. Be creative. Use what you've learned in other positions and other parts of the job to sort of inject a new way to pitch, whether it's a service or a product or a story. And then be consistent and be organized. It just rely on whether it's different software, or for me, I just really need Excel. And then I think the last thing I'll say is to kind of like dream with it. Know where you could be in 5 years and 4 years, and use it as motivation.
Yeah.
Because if you do really well in business development, it usually opens doors down the line.
Yeah.
So you're directly responsible for generating revenue, and not like a squishy way, like in a very much direct way. So that's my tips on business development
I have
and roles.
nothing to add.
Yeah, I was gonna say, you got anything on that?
No, I don't do a lot of biz
Not a
dev.
ton of biz dev.
No.
Your clients are sort of under the knife in different ways.
Yeah. I put them to sleep.
That would be. It's like the lawyer that rocks. Sally's like the CRNA that just fucking puts you to sleep,
Puts you to
bitch.
sleep.
Sally, any shower thoughts before we get out of here?
I don't think so. Do you have any? All of my like bandwidth right now is just like feeling something and being like, is this labor? And then
Oh God,
that's like my whole last few weeks.
damn. Well, good luck
So
on any BHs you have.
I've had a few.
Couple. That's crazy, man. Well, Sally, we are so excited for you. So excited for baby number 2. Best of luck. We're
Thank
gonna
you.
miss you on the Mail-In podcast, but that seat is all yours when you are.
I'll be back for sure
ready to
for
come
some
back.
holiday episodes.
We're gonna need some holiday episodes.
Yeah.
Love them. Please subscribe, rate 5 stars, review, and tell a friend about the show. Hit the hotline number 888-362-6245, aka 888-362-MAIL. Or you can write in at the link in the Twitter bio at Mail-In Podcast. Sally, where can the people find you?
Sally deFries on Instagram and Twitter.
I am Brett Merriman at Schmerriman on both those platforms. See y'all next week.
Bye.